Hey, so Raw is finished, and it was a very good show. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I There were some okay matches, but most of all it was pretty good. But the biggest news coming from it, CM Punk is officially injured and out of Mania. The show opened with Pat McAfee coming out. He is back on Raw commentary. It looks like it'll be for a long time. He's going to be back next week. They were talking about him like he'll be there permanently for the time being, which I like. I enjoy him on commentary. He's fun. Raw feels like it misses a heel commentator now, seeing as the two commentators are Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, who both cheered the good guys this time around at least. But CM Punk came out. He was talking that he's not really a hero. He is a wrestler. He's gonna fight this, but he thinks that the real heroes are the people fighting cancer, firefighters. Those kind of people are real heroes, which it makes sense. It was a very moving promo. It was very emotional. I liked it very much. He's really good on the mic, and I didn't remember just how good he was on the mic at just playing with your feelings. He's just amazing at that. Then Drew McIntyre comes out. With Drew McIntyre coming out, it felt like I wasn't sure what he was gonna do. I wasn't sure if he was gonna go full heel, if he was gonna back out a little bit and maybe apologize or something. I wasn't sure. I mean, it's CM Punk. He injured him. I saw the clip a couple of times. I was doing a Future Shock DDT on CM Punk. He fell, probably tore his tricep on the right arm, I think. And he immediately rolls over, grabs the arm, talks to the referees. And even so, he was able to lift quite a few people up. And I was right in saying that explains why it felt a little sluggish. Why he felt like he was doing it slowly, like he wasn't strong enough, like he was tired while lifting Cody, while lifting Drew. He was injured. He had his tricep tore off the bone during that whole time. So I don't blame him for losing to Dusty's kid. But Drew McIntyre comes out and says that he prayed for this to happen. He was wishing that CM Punk got hurt. And I guess God answered his prayers. Because goddamn, that was nasty to say. That's not nice, but I'm loving Bully Drew. He feels powerful. He feels like he's trying to end people. And that gets shown later down the night on his fight against Sami Zayn for the main event. He shows that again. He shows that he is not kidding when he's saying that he'll do anything that it takes. And still, on doing anything that it takes, he then proceeds to attack CM Punk, who has a cast in his arm. He just decides that it is the time to do it. It is now or never. I will beat the motherfucker up. And he does for a bit. CM Punk tries to fight back, but obviously with such an injury, he couldn't really do much. Sami Zayn comes out, protects Punk, and that's pretty much where it ends. That sets up the Sami versus Drew McIntyre rivalry to continue, which I was really enjoying. It was a really good rivalry. It gave us some amazing fights, and these two are masters at what they do in the ring. When it comes to Punk versus Drew, I'm seeing that Punk is probably coming back after WrestleMania, and he might go after Drew. He said it. He mentioned going after Drew before going back to his story of main eventing Mania. So I'm expecting that to be the case. After that, we had DIY against the Judgement Day for the unified, undisputed tag team championships. Which, quick question, if anyone can answer, why the fuck don't they just make it one belt? It's been two belts since I came back at Mania last year, and it was already two belts. The Usos were holding two belts. Why the fuck, after an entire year, more than a year, because they had been champions for a while, why the fuck do they not just make it one? Like, Roman had the two belts for a while. They didn't have plans to divide them, so they just made it one. Why not do that with the tag team championships? I don't get it. So when it comes to the fight, Tommaso Ciampa came out with Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano, not Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa looks right in this tag team. This feels like that's the right place for him to be, at least for now. I like him more like this as a DIY member than what I was seeing as the Black Heart a couple of weeks, months ago against Gunther, whatever it was. But after that, the Judgement Day come out. And the Judgement Day come out with Damian Priest and Finn Balor, both belts, and then Damian Priest has the briefcase on its hand. And I've watched WWE a lot of years, and all of them, the Money in the Bank was a thing. I was born in 2002. I didn't really have much of a chance to watch it before Money in the Bank existed. And I can't remember a time where the briefcase looked so devalued. Now, I didn't watch Austin Theories, and I hear that Austin Theories wasn't good either. I didn't watch any of the failed cash-ins, so I don't know. The cash-ins that I remember, not necessarily from watching them live, but the time I watched before, I remember watching Edge cash-in, the original, this first cash-in. I remember watching the Heist of the Century, because it showed up while I wasn't watching. It showed up on my YouTube, and I also remember watching, who was it? Dolph Ziggler's cash-in. So seeing Damian Priest, who is a powerful presence, get to the ring and raise the briefcase while the belts are on his waist, trying to give emphasis to the briefcase instead of the belts, and it not feeling powerful, because he gets Claymored once. Fair enough, it's a very strong attack. But does that mean that you can't pin and injure the Rollins that's in the ring? Other than that, they were amazing. The fight was really, really good. DIY is an amazing tag team. They showed up and showed out. I love their little pats in the back. Very good moments that brings. It's very funny. It's interesting to see the Judgment Day bending the rules without actually cheating. For example, taking the ref's side away, like making the ref look at the Judgment Day when Gargano is tagging in, so that when Gargano is going to attack Finn Balor, the referee thinks it's still Tommaso Ciampa in the ring. Just those little things that they did, or just Damian Priest just grabbing a hold of Finn Balor's leg and pulling him towards the ropes to break a pin. Those things that are technically legal, but they're still dubious, to say the least. It's a heel move, and I like it. It's good that they don't just go for, let's knock the ref out, get some weapons, beat him up, and we win. They found other ways, and I like that. I like that a lot. During the match, Priest's kicks looked incredible. He looked like he was actually just taking people's head off. Just decapitating them, just pow, just taking their heads off. That looked great. There were a lot of near falls that almost caught me, especially from the side of DIY, which the Judgment Day made a really good job of staying dominant, but making it look like they might actually lose, which I enjoy. It makes them seem strong, and it gives DIY credibility. It gives their opponents a lot of credibility. There was a point where Johnny Gargano had a submission locked in on Finn Balor. Damian Priest comes in and Tommaso Ciampa grabs him and also puts him in a submission hold. That had me. I legitimately got off my seat and I was like, do we have new tag team champions? Is WWE gonna have the tag team championships running around again? But then they come out and they win it with a South of Heaven, or no. Priest hits a razor's edge for Finn Balor to hit the coup de grace which great finish, and still your tag team champions are the Judgment Day. It was a great match. It had a lot of it was an amazing pace with a lot of great spots. The two teams looked like they had a lot of chemistry in the ring, and the character work from both sides was really good. I really enjoyed it, and it was, in my opinion, the best match of the night, and I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. So after beating them, the Judgment Day come out into the ring, and they cut a promo. They ask R-Truth to come out. R-Truth comes out, and Damian Priest says, I'm not gonna hurt you, I'm not gonna do anything to you, just come out. They talk for a bit, and then they say, but you're not a part of the Judgment Day, and they attack him. Damian Priest keeps his word. He does not attack R-Truth. That's the other members of the Judgment Day, Tom and Nick and JD McDonough. Afterwards, the other half of the Awesome Truth, The Miz, comes out to help. They both get beat up by the Judgment Day. And today, the beginning of the show really, really felt like a reset for the Judgment Day. They've been not doing great, to say the least. But after today, I think that they can hit a reset and just restart everything and get back on track and really show how dominant of a faction those 5 people can be. They're really good together, and I love it. Afterwards, we had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Shayna Basler and Zoey Stark. It was a short match. Chelsea Green's introduction is back. The Chelsea Green! Samantha Irvin is singing it again. I don't know if it was due to the changes of what's his name? Leadership that were happening in WWE due to the lawsuit and the other dude leaving. I don't know why, but she's doing it again. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of it. I know that a lot of people like it. I'm not a fan of it, but that's just personal preference. Samantha Irvin is a great announcer. Most of her things are at least good. There's a few that I dislike. I don't like Chelsea Green's. I don't like Bronson Reed's. Bronson Reed's sounds boring. But most of the other ones are really good. She's a good announcer. Other than that, not much happened. Chelsea Green was great at character work, just trying to run away, doing all of the faces, the speaking, the movements that she does, and then tricking people into getting a little pin or hitting them with an arm drag or whatever it is that she decides to do at that moment. She does those things really well, but her character work is out of this world. I love it. But all in all, it was just a squash match for Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. They beat him pretty quickly. And it was a dominant performance by them, but it was just a squash match. I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 10 at most. Cody Rhodes comes out. He cuts a promo, and he is so over. He is just perpetually over at this point. I don't think that the WWE can fuck him up. At least with the writers that they're using right now. They're doing very well with him, and I don't think they're gonna fuck him up, at least until he gets the championship and a lot of people turn on him, which will very likely happen. But Samantha Irvin introduces him as the 2023 and 2024 Royal Rumble winner, which again wasn't my first choice, but I'm starting to like it a little more. After Raw, I started to enjoy Cody as the 2-time Rumble winner a little more. Mostly because as he was about to announce who he was going to fight, which was going to be Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins comes out and he interrupts Cody, saying that you don't actually want to fight Roman. I know what happened last year and I know you want to get back to that moment. But he is not the guy. I am. Seth Rollins cuts a promo that is unimaginably good. He calls back to Dusty. He calls his championship the Dusty's championship, the People's Championship, the Workhorse Championship. He says that to get this championship, you have to be the one that's working overtime, that is there every night, giving it his all. And Roman is not that. Roman is the Hollywood, the television championship. The one that people want to see, but no one wants. And honestly, I'd have to agree. I would have to agree. Seth Rollins has done an amazing job at creating the World Heavyweight Championship to be what it is. And I think he succeeded in that. I think that even after his injury, still showing up on Monday Night Raw, still giving out amazing promos, and even while injured, finishing the match with Jinder Mahal, just really shows how into it he is. He really wants to keep that championship. And Cody says he'll think about it. Now, there's been too many promos for me to say that Cody will actually choose Seth. I was of the mindset that Cody versus Roman is what we should get. I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure if I still am. I think that Cody versus Roman would be a really good match. I'm sure it would. Mostly storytelling perspective. But Cody versus Seth would be an in-ring expertise match. It would be an insanely good match, and with the feud that has existed between these two, I think it could be as good, if not better, than Cody versus Roman. And I hope that even if Cody doesn't choose Seth as the world champion he wants to face, which he said he'd think about it, so it might get an answer next week or something, or maybe he'll show up on SmackDown. Even if he doesn't choose Seth, I hope we see the two of them clash in the ring again. And I think that we will, seeing as the animosity between them was still there at Survivor Series, and it's still there right now. They can speak to each other, they can stay in the same ring, stand in the same ring, but it still feels like there's quite a bit of animosity. I hope we see it again. Jey Uso fights Bronson Reed, and Jey Uso's entrance is, as of right now, the greatest entrance in all of WWE. I'll be perfectly honest. He has his entrance go on for quite a bit, but it never gets boring. He's always doing something. People are into it. The entire arena is into it. Even Pat McAfee stood up and started dancing with him. And then Bronson Reed came out, and we have a new Bronson Reed Titantron of him just being Godzilla, I guess, and just wrecking a city and destroying everything and saying big Bronson Reed in front. Off of this match, really the only things that I have to point out are that Bronson Reed is feeling really strong right now. He's feeling as a guy that can manhandle most other wrestlers as of right now. He feels like, unless he goes against Omos or Gunther, he'll just be able to control the entire match like it was nothing. And that Jey Uso has a beautiful step-up Isaguri from the apron. He does it really well. All in all, they had great chemistry. The missed tsunami. Maybe it's because of Bronson Reed's physique, but a missed tsunami looks like maybe the worst move to miss. For example, when Jey Uso misses a frog splash, he lands on his feet and rolls. That doesn't look like it hurts. When Bronson Reed misses a tsunami, he face plants. He falls face first from the top rope into the middle of the ring, and it shakes all of the ring. That looks like it hurts so much. But all in all, they had great chemistry. It was an amazing fight, and I don't have many pointers to it. It was just a good match to watch. The only bad thing is that near falls never felt like a true finish. I never felt like a near fall was actually going to get the job done in this match. There was never a point where someone was in the pin that wasn't the actual finish that I thought he might get it. And that's a big no-no for me. I think that the near falls should be something that you're worried about. To make them better, they should be something that puts a little bit of fear in you. And I'll give it a 7.3 out of 10 for the entire match. After that, we got a series of small promos. First of all, Andrade is signed to Raw. Second of all, the GM of SmackDown is in conversation with Braun Breaker, so we might see Braun Breaker move to SmackDown, which I would love. We had Gunther on the microphone again to talk about Kofi Kingston, which really the only thing that I took from it is Gunther is getting really good on the mic. He only talks about one thing, which is, oh, this is gonna be important for you. I don't care about you, but he's doing that well, at least I suppose. And Becky Lynch says that she's gotta get back on her feet and just keep chasing that championship to put it back into the main event. She's probably going to the Elimination Chamber. That's what I took from that. She's probably going to the EC. I mean, she's never won one in her career. Becky Lynch, the only thing I think she hasn't done is win the Elimination Chamber at this point. Gunther comes out to fight Kofi Kingston. He is a 20-month-old champion. Gunther's reign of terror has just been continuing and it doesn't stop. Gunther looked really good to start the match. He came in already with bruises on his chest from the Rumble and almost bleeding, which he does during the match after some double-handed chops from Kofi Kingston. We see blood coming out of Gunther's chest. Kofi started really fast. He went after Gunther as he should, but it looked good. But Gunther stops that with one of the most beautiful backbreakers I've ever seen. He grabs Kofi, spins him around, and just drops him on his leg, and it looked beautiful. He did it. It was such a good execution. Gunther showed a lot of dominance against Kofi as well. A lot like he showed against The Miz. Bringing out the best in Kofi and the best in The Miz, because The Miz had some of the best Miz matches I've ever seen against Gunther, and some of them were heavy contenders for matches of the year last year for me. They were really, really good. And the Kofi also played a really, really big part and they looked really good. He looked like a real threat to Gunther. But the thing that actually looked like a threat was the Boston Crab in this match. They were making the Boston Crab from Gunther to Kofi look like it would just destroy him. Kofi was always grabbing the bottom of his back. Gunther was targeting the lower half of his back. He was just attacking it relentlessly. And that it was really good storytelling, but all in all, there was a really cool barricade spot when Gunther was on top of the stairs. Kofi went up to the barricades and just jumped and dropped an elbow on him, I think. And we just got another powerbomb finisher. I think I was enjoying the time when we didn't know Gunther's finisher, when he would hit you with a lariat and finish it like that. He would end you with a sleeper hold or the Boston Crab, or he'd hit you with a powerbomb, or he'd do some other move that is normal but would look dominant in his hands. I was enjoying that more than just powerbomb and it's over. I really was. But in this match, there were 3 spots that I legitimately thought that Kofi Kingston was going to take it. That I thought that Gunther's reign was over. It was a truly competitive match. At no point did I feel bored or thought, oh no, Kofi cannot win this. And both sides had some very hard-hitting moves. For that, I'll give it an 8.3 out of 10. And the match then was followed by a New Day beatdown. And the New Day, one of two things. The WWE is either setting up the New Day to get help from someone else, somewhere else, or they're setting up for Big E's return. Because I do not believe that Big E is going to be able to hold on to the title. I think Big E is going to lose. 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 I think Big E is going the amount of beatdowns that the New Day have gotten the last couple of weeks, purely because, especially to this Raw, uh, purely because they're one person short, feels like they need someone else. It feels like they require someone else to be there and help them. At some points it was Jey Uso. He helped, especially during Kofi Claus's little run on the Christmas special. But they need someone else. I hope it's Big E. I hope he's recovering well, and I hope he'll be back soon. We also got the Kabuki Warriors defending against Tegan Nox and Natalya, and it was a pretty good match. The Kabuki Warriors, they're playing around their character work of them just mocking the other people and just wooing every time they do something. Is a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to witness them just having fun there. It really looks like they are having fun. And from both sides, it was a true technical showing. They looked amazing on both sides. Both teams looked incredible. And just like the DIY versus Judgement Day fight, the champions looked dominant, but they still allowed the other tag team to look like a credible tag team. They looked like they could have won it. They didn't, but they looked like they could have won it. And still, your women's tag team champions are the Kabuki Warriors. I'd give this match a 7.9 out of 10, I think. Out comes Bayley, and she is ready to announce her opponent with her Royal Rumble golden ticket. All of Damage Control is waiting for her in the ring. She gets in, they talk, she gets cocky, and then Rhea Ripley comes out, which was expected. I talked about this in my Rumble review. I said that it would be nice. It will be fun when we see Rhea Ripley come out to face Bayley on Monday Night Raw. But the Damage Control is, in my opinion, right now, the greatest all-female faction of all time. I cannot think of a better one. If anyone can, they please tell me, because I cannot think of a better female faction ever as of right now. Rhea's intervention was expected. What I didn't expect is for Nia Jax to just attack her from behind. Then triple leg drop Rhea and just leave her on the floor rolling. Take the microphone from Bayley and say choose anyone, but Rhea won't make it to WrestleMania. That was really good. I enjoy Nia on the microphone, and Bayley says that she will give her decision on Friday. Main event time: Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. It is made clear that Sami has never beaten Drew before. Drew McIntyre is fully undefeated against Sami Zayn, which at the start I was thinking, oh, are they gonna defy the odds? Is Sami Zayn gonna beat Drew for the first time ever? No, he ain't. Most of the match was Drew on top, Drew controlling the match, doing anything he could. Sami Zayn just not going down. He just wouldn't give up. Drew threw Sami over the announcer's table like he was a sack of potatoes, and it made me think of Brock Lesnar kinds of moves that really felt like something that Brock would do. But Sami was very electric. At any point he could just get back on his feet and run at Drew and take back control for a couple of minutes until Drew just comes back. But anytime Sami would do that, it would just send a rush through everyone watching. The entire arena would erupt. The arena was talkative this time, which I enjoy. It's better when the arena is into it. And it kept on going like that. Sami took a lot of hits without going down. He was a champion in there. He was incredible. And then Sami Zayn also hits a modified Blue Thunder Bomb from a Claymore. Drew McIntyre goes in for the Claymore. Sami grabs him and hits him with a modified Blue Thunder Bomb, which wasn't as strong as a normal Blue Thunder Bomb because he didn't lift him up as high, which Drew McIntyre kicks out of, and then hits him after a while. He hits him with putting him against the corner, throwing him with the belly to belly, and then hitting the keep up. One of the best sequences I've seen. I think it's in Drew McIntyre's matches, the little moment that I like the most is his belly to belly keep up. It looks really good. He does it amazingly well, and it just looks gorgeous. Sami, after being thrown off of the top rope, had his whole back bruised. Like around this area, he was bruised. He was getting red. And then Drew got too cocky on the ground, telling Sami to just stand down. And Sami got to attack again, and then he goes for the haluva kick. Drew McIntyre ducks down, protects himself, and gives an accidental low blow to Sami Zayn. This is what I was talking about, Drew not letting up. He follows that up with a Claymore to take the win and still being undefeated against Sami. I'm enjoying this rivalry a lot. This storyline between the two of them, injuring Sami, then hitting him with a low blow to win it, just doing anything he can to make sure he keeps winning against Sami. The fight had amazing near falls. The in-ring fighting was the best in all of the night. The purely technical sense, the moves that they were hitting looked the best. It was a great fight. I still think that DIY versus Judgment Day was slightly better. I'd give it an advantage purely because of the pace mostly. DIY and Judgment Day's Finn Balor fight at a very similar pace. They fight really well together, and then Damian Priest looked very imposing. So I'd give that a slight edge over this one. I'd give this match an 8.9 out of 10 between Drew and Sami. They did really well. It was a good match. I can't wait to see where they take this storyline.